Okay, on we go. Hello everybody. Hello Jakob, how you going? How's your day going so far?
That was great, Steph. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited. Big fan of your show.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
it was well. It's really hard to watch because every time I watch that, I want to stop it and try something right away. That's well. I always stop and open my console and that's but it's a great great thing. Thank you for
No,
having me.
that's good. Well, that's why, guys. If you're watching us live, or you can check out the rest of the videos on YouTube, the mentioned below, then you can do that. You can stop and you can enjoy and go and do things, which is what I love to hear. And before we start, I'm going to bring it up because we said we would. We're drinking out of some very funky cups today, so the shout out to Alex who made these for our team, and Yakov has got one that he made himself out of pottery, which is very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's the one I made during my last vacations, like 1 month before. That was everything from scratch, and then I painted it. That was absolutely amazing experience. I have more of those, but that is the
The
prettiest
best
one.
one. I
That's
swear I think the pottery I made was in like year 8, which is like 12 to 13. I'm sure it's still in my mum and dad's house, but it's honestly the worst. It's so bad. Anyway, all right, let's get into the show. So welcome everyone to the Keys to AWS Optimization, the show where we share stories, concepts, and solutions to help you unlock your spend at AWS. My name is Stephanie Gooch, and I am a commercial architect at AWS. And today we're going to be looking at the new Compute Optimizer dashboard with Yakov here, who created it, who I have worked with a lot of the lab stuff. So I'm super excited to share with you this dashboard, give you some tips. So if you've heard of this or you haven't heard of the dashboard and you are looking to say, okay, how do I start with this? Then this is the video for you. As always, please feel free to add questions, comments in the chat around any optimization or this topic specifically. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, and add any questions and comments you have below. Okay, let's get started. So, Yakov, do you want to give us like your 1 minute origin story so that everyone know who you are?
Yeah, sure. So let's start with before I'm Russian, but I left Russia like about 10 years ago. I started work in France and in a big software development company. Started with some embedded development, and then went all the way to infrastructure. Now I'm in AWS. So this is absolutely great journey. I really enjoy developing some new products and creating something new because there are always a possibility. And AWS is absolutely great company. You can build a lot of things here.
Sales pitch for AWS there. Anyone was looking to work here, we have jobs open. So let me know. You can, and any questions I've got to say, any questions you have as well, generally, email costoptimization@amazon.com. And just for me then, as a question, I don't think I've actually asked you before. With the Compute Optimizer dashboard, I'm just going to call it the COD for short, because it is a mouthful. What gave you the idea to create that dashboard in the first place?
Oh, that's pretty simple. I actually take all my ideas from customers. We always say that we work backwards for the customers, but it's really easy because my customers, they're absolutely great and they're super great in cost savings. So they have a lot of interesting ideas, and we in AWS we provide a lot of tools, trusted advisor, compute optimizer, and many other things. But they're always something missing, some part that missing for the big companies. And working with those big companies, I just see what's the missing pieces, what they need to take advantage of all this data that we produce.
Yeah.
So we just that was a very simple idea to visualize it in the right way, how they see it. And apparently, now we have about 100 customers who also deployed this dashboard. So they hope they enjoy this as well.
That's great. It's a nice another little sales pitch. So also shout out I think Jeff's on the watching who came on recently. So hopefully say hi to him. And thanks everyone for watching. So right, let's we'll do a little bit more background chat before we get into the actual demo. So do you want to also touch on what the dashboard does and what it's good for, but also who should use it? I think those three things.
Yeah, probably we need to start with the need, right? So what we cover here? So what is the journey of cost optimization and how this particular dashboard fits to this journey, right? So let me go just a step back a little bit, just general idea about cost optimization. Well, just you had a lot of people already expressing different ways how they do cost optimization, but it should all start with some planning. Well, let's say you need to estimate how much money you can save, what will be the benefit, because sometimes we need to put efforts to that. So it not comes for free. You cannot just cut the cost. You need to do something for that. So you need to come to your management with a project. If we do this, we can gain this. So this estimation is the first part. And the second, it will be the execution. So you need to trace the execution on that. So we need to see in timely manner, where we are regarding our goals and how we are performing, who is performing better, who may need some help, and this kind of thing. So this is a tracking, how you do that. And the third one, we need to estimate how much money we gain. So this is the end of our project, which actually, it is a big lie. The cost optimization never ends. I don't know if anybody. It's a process, so let's. This being said, I don't know. Any comments, Steph?
So I agree.
Okay.
That's always good. But yeah, the main thing with it is, like you said, this is all in one place. So what's really good about that is that people normally have to jump around and look at different places when they gather their data, when they start reviewing costs and estimating. This pulls it all into one centralized location, which is probably my favorite part of the dashboard.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take the now when we see this big picture, so we can see that where the dashboard actually helps us. So the dashboard is exactly there to see how much money we can get with the cost optimization, and it also helps us with the tracing. So we can trace this over the time. We can see what business unit is performing better, etc., etc.
Cool.
So a demo.
Yeah, let's do it. And I'm going to pop the link into the chat right now. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. There we go. So if anyone's interested and wants to, like Yakov said, pause us and go deploy the dashboard now so you can kind of cloud along with us, then that's the link to it. So you go in there, look for the Compute Optimizer one, and you can get started and use that new CLI. All right, let's add this to the stream. Okay, here we go. Nice, pretty dashboard.
So we see. Do you see the screen? Everything right? Okay. So this is something that you can probably already see in the Compute Optimizer UI. So they also provide this kind of visuals. The only the big differentiator here, that we can, they make more visuals, and also we can see it in timely manner. So this is exactly where most of customers start. So their potential savings is growing. So that means that they leave more and more money on the table, basically. So that's we have several tabs here. So the first tab is the summary. So the summary, this is where we see what kinds of findings will give us the most of value, and what are the accounts that have the most of savings to make. Also, well, we can also group them, and this is the one of the killing feature of this dashboard. So we can group them by business unit. So we have, if we have a mapping somewhere of what business unit own which account, we can provide that, so we can see, well, because this dashboard often see by the C-level people, so they don't know about accounts. They don't. They have no idea about that, but they know their business units. And by the way, here I have some. Well, these are all generated data, so it's completely random words somewhere. But well, we see there is something that the C-level guys, they will see, and they will say, well, this business unit is big, and this is where we need to work to find some savings, right?
Yeah. And I think that's really important when it comes to, like you said, the C-suite people, because also when I was a developer, we had like 600 accounts or something. And so I couldn't remember all the IDs or the accounts. Sometimes there are those ones that you do see or you work on that you pick up, but just seeing the business unit takes out that effort, which is something. But also this dashboard can be used by developers to kind of flip it around there. If you are a developer and you care about yours, then you can actually just look at your account ID or your account name and just simplify it.
Yes, definitely. So there is, well, again, if you take a little bit step back and think about cost optimization globally, well, I see it as well. There are two directions in this process that I see, at least in my daily life. So we have, let's say, bottom to up and top to bottom. So saying that sometimes there are very good engineers who have this idea of cost optimizing their infrastructure, like cleaning, having this is very good examples normally of ownership. This is really nice guys to work with and girls. So these are very interesting engineers to work with. This is one direction, and sometimes it goes top to bottom. So that meaning the C-level, they need to make sure that we are not wasting money on cloud just like that. They need to be to make sure that everything is good, all the processes are respected, etc. So we can have this top-down approach, so we can see how it propagates through the organization and arrives to engineers level. So these are two complementary things that not one can, well, we need both to work in this right direction, so we can have so the engineers would have the time to look at that, and the C-level, well, the management level would be assured that yes, the cloud is really the way how we can have the right infrastructure optimized, etc. So we need both.
Right. Yeah, and I just realized before we move on, I didn't actually say what Compute Optimizer was. So if anyone's watching and they're like, what is this thing? Compute Optimizer is a free service that you can enable across your individual accounts or across your organization, which picks up data using ML to find ways in which you could look at improving optimization. So it could either be your provisions are over provisioned, under provisioned, or correctly provisioned, and will provide you with that information. If it's over provisioned, it will provide you with savings in which you could do if you resize. So just a quick summary. There's a link right there. Super cool. They announced 5 new regions of availability like 2 days ago. I tweeted about it. So if anyone, suggestion there, follow me on Twitter, because that's where I'm really getting into it now, guys. I'm starting to be more of a Twitter person. I know Brave. Lift Like a Nerd is my Twitter handle. So join me on there to kind of find some more links about it. But yeah, so if you haven't heard of it before, check that out. Was really excited to hear that. But yeah, so continue. So what else can we see in this dashboard? Why don't we go into one of the service tabs?
Yeah. So let's go and check how it works for EC2, because that's where most of customers start. So here we see the most important numbers. So that is the estimated potential savings that the server calculates, and what is the number of instances this we look through. So that's all instances, and as you said just a minute ago, so that's there are three kinds of findings. Your instance can be optimized, meaning that your CPU is on the right level, and you can have it over provisioned, meaning that you can totally shrink it down. You can make it smaller, and the smaller instance that it will do the job just as well, while being cheaper. Well, and also, not well, that's very important. It also will have less impact on the environment. So you can save the planet here. So this is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
The stakes are pretty high here. Not only cost optimization, but also this directly you have a direct impact on your sustainability posture. Also,
just to say, that's a really good shout out, because I'll also post a link to this stuff. I mentioned I was on a podcast last week, but I'll share a bit later. But one of the things we talked about on the podcast was like, how do you drive efficiency? How do you have good metrics and stuff like that? And some people don't care about money. Some developers are like, oh, it's daddy's money, as one of my customers calls it, and they don't care about the optimization, which is fair enough. If you're not measured on it and you don't pay the bill, maybe you don't. But people do care about being more sustainable, especially this heat wave we've got in England at the moment. People are really aware of this, and so providing the data, and like Yakov said, angling it in that approach can make a really big impact.
Yeah, definitely. So let's we have also some under provisioned instances here. Under provision, that means that probably a poor machine that works on 99% of CPU. Well, probably you can have a look at this, because it can create a potential operational risk. So this is why there are these are different things that we can look at this dashboard. I got a question for you, Steph. How 8,000 machines, is it? Well, is it something you can do during, the review these machines during a day?
Oh yeah, just at a coffee break. No, that's I was thinking as we're looking at this, like, this is quite a lot of machines.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So is there a way to kind of narrow that scope a bit?
Oh yes, so that's exactly what. Well, this is first reaction of all customers. Well, we have so many of them. What do we do? That is simple. So we have here a threshold. So basically, every machine that you are touching will, if you over provision it, and the potential savings would be 1,000 a month, or the potential savings would be just $5 a month. You have more or less the same amount of efforts to readjust this sizing. Well, and sometimes, we need just to draw a line somewhere. And for example, we can say that every savings that is less than $100, we don't care about that.
Right.
So or we can draw a line a little bit. So you see, we already have 800s, and the potential savings is still very good, meaning that we took, this is Pareto principle. The 80% of your savings is made by 20% of your machines.
Oh, cool.
And you can go even further, like 140, and you can go just to the level where, well, with something this normally has to do with the salary of your engineer. How much do you estimate the effort to change this? So let's say we say that 1 hour, what's 120, and this will be 500 machines to review. And also we can see it well a little bit further down. As you said, we can go through this dashboard to a very granular level. So we have all these machines, all these nice machines, ordered by the savings value. So we can check one of these machines and see exactly the same thing that we have in Compute Optimizer UI. Well, that's exactly the same data. So we have all the options that Compute Optimizer proposes us as an option to optimize. So this is 1000. Well, here we have a very good optimization because there was a big instance, R5X, 4X large. That's a big one. And it was only was using 4% of memory and only 9% of CPU. Right. So we can totally take T3, and it will be, well, this is the estimation, it will be work at the decent 60% of memory and 67 of CPU. So this is the main idea of the Compute Optimizer.
Mm-hmm. And I think just to add, one thing that's, you might be sitting here thinking, okay, so you're just presenting the same data as what's in Compute Optimizer, like what's the point? But what we touched on at the start, if anyone missed that, was that you can now filter this by business units, but you can also pull this all together in one view. So if you were like me at my old, when I was a customer, we had hundreds of accounts, and you've got to target some effort to go and make some optimization. You don't want to sift through 600 accounts to find out which instances are going to save you the most money, nor do you necessarily want to look through a massive Excel sheet and kind of target this approach. So this does make it a little bit more optimized in the way that you can attack kind of where you make those savings.
Oh yes. So the best, these two charts describe the difference that we have between Compute Optimizer, just Compute Optimizer, and Compute Optimizer dashboard that we have in QuickSight. So in here we can see it every two weeks. We have new data that arrives to this dashboard. So we can see I just referenced to the very simple idea we discussed in the beginning. Your cost optimization project needs to have a target. Well, that is your target, but it's also, you need a tracker. You need to see how it goes. Here, when your potential savings goes up, that means that you are leaving more and more money on the table. Here the goal is to progressively, week by week, month after month, reduce your potential savings and turn it to the actual savings that is not possible to estimate here, but the less you have potential, the more you have actual savings here.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing to hint on, is that this, I'm going to kind of put that point in again. This collects your data using, there's a lab which you can use, I'm just going to put it in the chat, which will collect your data every 2 weeks. And again, the power of that is that Compute Optimizer, unless you pay for the more in-depth level, a certain amount a month, which monitors your instance as a charge per resource it checks. So check that out if you're looking for it. If you do want to have this across the board and not really pay that much more, this will export the data every 2 weeks, which by the time every 2 weeks, Compute Optimizer will lose the data. So it just means, like Jakob was saying, you can track over time. So those of you out there who are pushing to be more optimized in your accounts, there's people working in FinOps, and you need to say, okay, we've made this change. Here's the result. Whereas if you go, oh, here's the change, and then the instance is now missing from Compute Optimizer, which is a good thing, you have no evidence that it was there. So I do really push you to kind of deploy this, even if it's just tracking over time and you do make some changes, so you can do that. And before we jump back in, I've got a question for you from the chat. So do you have the ability to group the data by region or prod, non-prod, perhaps by adding the account mapping? So I know the account mapping's in there, but what about the region kind of thing?
Well, it's not there by default, but here what is nice about dashboards that we provide, the same is true for Kudos, CID, etc. The Tao dashboard. You have this dashboard, and if you need some other granularity, you just copy the dashboard and add this granularity in QuickSight, so you can adjust it just as you wish it looks like. So, for example, we don't know about your prod pre-prod, so we don't have this filter, but you know probably the list of accounts that are pre-prod. Well, for us everything is prod. But for you, it's not the same. So, well, why not? You can have this list of pre-prod accounts, and you can focus on this first. And this is very good idea.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So we've got about 5 minutes left, just under that. What else do you want to show the lovely viewers on this dashboard?
Yeah. So let me show you. Well, just wrapping up on the here are some interesting charts about the histogram. Well, for example, we can see here there are 3 instances that are more than 1,000, and the less the savings, the more instances. These are logarithmic space. So we have this generally it is a good idea to go from top consumer to the progressively to smaller ones. So this so you spend your time in most effective way. So you just go and reduce the have some savings before lunch. That's what I always say. That's so. This is there's 3 instances. Like for each 1,000, they are crying to be optimized. And also we can see the same in the 3 instances. We can see them here, and we see how many of them. This each bar here is the potential savings, so we can filter on those and have a look. So that's pretty much it about AC2, but also there are 4 other. But I will not stop on them. Just for you to know that there is also auto scaling. That's pretty much the same as EC2, but we also can have the number of target instances that we want in this in this group. Then we have it's pretty much the same dashboard as EC2. Just you have desired capacity here, which is added. Also, we can see some interesting savings on Lambda, and I will not do that because that's we have normally less savings there, but here this is one of the interesting parts. So in EBS we can see how much savings we can have from optimizing instances, but also from moving from GP2 to GP3, for example.
Classic. Yeah. Oh. He's an important guy. He's got calls. No worries. I'm just going to mention this before we run out of time. I love what you're saying as well, that to get the savings before lunch, but Jeff's adding use the savings to buy lunch. I feel like that should be a little bit of a catchphrase, which is great. Okay, cool. All right. Well, we're coming to the end. So I think in general, just want to say thank you for coming on, sharing the dashboard. And guys, go and check it out. That's the big thing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, the lab's there. Any feedback you have, there's an email address on the labs that you can provide any feedback to, any questions you have. There's a bunch of us here that are able to support you deploying it. Any feedback, any ideas, please let us know. Okay, thank you for watching. Next week we have someone coming on to talk about Cost Explorer. So if you wanted to learn a bit more about how to get hands-on with that, then please join us. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.